Welcome and thanks for tuning in. This will be the best investment you will make for a healthy, quality Bulldog puppy. Well, this is Mr. Cooter Brown. How are you, Bulldog? This is one of our fine specimens of a genetically bred Bulldog. He's just a 6-month-old puppy. And I think if you stay tuned, we're going to show you a few more great Bulldogs. One, an international champion. He's getting ready to go on the show circuit, and by the way, his paper name is Mr. Maestro, if you please. Now go see your mommy. Go see mommy. Okay, thank you, boo-boo. Please listen very carefully, and you will learn 4 very important things in your search for a healthy Bulldog puppy. Number 1, I want to impart to you how to spot a good breeder versus a bad breeder. Number 2, line breeding. What is it? Number 3, how to spot an internet puppy mill. And number 4, 2 villains we call Jethro and Ellie Mae. To understand how to spot a good breeder or a bad breeder, you will need to understand what line breeding is and what it means. Line breeding is nothing more than the incestual breeding of animals. I'm going to ask you to think with me for a moment about your own family. You know, most people when they go to a doctor will ask you, when he's giving you a health examination, are there any history of heart problems, diabetes, and things like that within your family? Imagine if your own family practiced line breeding, mother to son, father to daughter, and grandfather to granddaughter. I think you understand that you would all look the same. However, surely you must realize that the health problems would increase dramatically within your family. Sadly, in this country, all dogs are ancestrally line bred. Mother to son, father to daughter, and grandfather to granddaughter, by the way, is the #1 breeding of most breeders in this nation. You need only look at German Shepherds and Labradors and you'll see how horribly they walk to understand and the hip problems that they have, which is a direct result of line breeding and the compounding health issues in those dogs. In your search on the internet for a Bulldog puppy, you will find many pedigrees on websites containing these names: Little Ponds, Titus, Newcomb, Phoenix, Cedar Lane, King Farouk, and Cherokee. Most breeders will sell you what I call a cull. A cull is nothing but a leftover puppy that he does not want to keep for himself, that he could run the chance of making another champion. In a bit, I'm going to tell you why they want to make so many champions. How you doing, Frederico Canjanero? Camachito Bulldog. How are you, Mr. Fred? How you been, Bulldog? Come on over here and get you some. Come on up here and get you some of that. I know you like that stuff. Come on up, Frederico. Oh, ain't you a good boy? You spit that out. Let me get it for you. Let's lift him up again because he's got me nailed right now, don't you? This is absolutely, hold on, big fella. This is absolutely #1 stud in the whole place. He's the happiest boy here because he gets so many girls, and he's an international champion, a perfect specimen of a Bulldog. Don't get any better than Freddie. He got a beautiful brick on his face. You can see that on our standard. Fabulous dog, great big chest. His name is Limited Edition. I call him Freddie because he got a brown eye here and a brown eye there, and when he was a pup, I thought he looked like Fred Flintstone. But he's beautiful, beautiful Bulldog and top dog around the place. That's Freddie. Hello, I would like to share a personal story with you and stop for a minute and explain to you why I am so passionate about the health of a Bulldog. This is Sweet Pea, and she's a sweet little girl. She's about 10 weeks old right now, and she's just a ball of love. Over 10 years ago, I had a female die on me very early of a massive heart attack. When this happened, the first thing that went through my head was, what's wrong? Why are these dogs dying at 3, 4, and 5 years of age? I hired a group of people, put them in a detached building on my property, and I began to investigate my own dog's pedigrees. To my surprise, I found out that Grandpa had heart problems, and they were known about it. Aunt Sally had heart problems. Uncle Buck had heart problems. And is it any wonder if Grandpa was in bed with his granddaughter, Uncle Buck was in bed with his own daughter, and Aunt Sally was in bed with her own son, why my dog died of a massive heart attack? This passion that I have and the heartache that I suffered is what I am trying to help you avoid. It's very devastating to children and the family to put so much love into such a wonderful little puppy like Sweet Pea, and then to lose that puppy because of reckless, negligent breeding. My desire is only to improve the breed, and once I had this knowledge and began to understand the problem, it sent me on a quest. So I hope you understand that if your family was line breeding, it would be devastating to your family's health. In fact, there are laws against that. Can you imagine how devastating it has been to animals for the last 50 years as they've been line bred repeatedly over and over and over? Personally, I think, and I hope and think that you will agree with me, that if we catch Grandpa in bed with his granddaughter, he needs to have his butt in jail, along with every breeder, and every line breeder's illicit champion needs to be in jail right next to him because they sell you the call. In a minute, I'm going to explain to you why they line breed and why it's all about money. To hell with the health of the dog. It's all about money, money, money. Give me more money. Let's talk for a second about a mini bulldog. This is a little Sweet Pea girl, but she's not a mini bulldog. Mini, by mini I mean M-I-N-I. There is no such thing as a mini bulldog. You will see mini bulldogs all over the internet. They've even created their own registry to validate this is a good dog. There's no such thing as a mini bulldog. That's just some idiot breeding runts. They are the worst abomination of health in an animal that you can find. There is another weird, bizarre genetic anomaly that has taken place among bulldogs. It has to do with bulldogs being born and their legs backwards, and the fellow that I refer to as Judge Jimmy. Jimmy had a litter of puppies that were born where all of their legs were twisted completely backwards. At first he was a little horrified and puzzled, like, what happened? You know, he was concerned. And what he did was he killed all of the puppies. He couldn't figure this out. So Jimmy is so intelligent that Jimmy turned around and did the same breeding again. The same mother, the same son. And guess what popped out? Another litter of puppies with their legs turned completely backwards. There are websites that will tell you what I'm saying is true. If you go to Houston and look up Rocket City, they used to have an article on there about that. But Judge Jimmy did this then. He decided he was going to wait and see what happens. He has a little scientific curiosity, I suppose, but mostly he operates on massive ignorance. The puppies, after about 14 days, their legs begin to turn back around. So for the last 10 years or so, they've been breeding bulldog puppies litter after litter after litter where their legs were turned completely around, and they account for probably over 20% of the market that's out there are dogs that were born with their legs backward and they've turned completely around.